What's up, Celtics Nation? Buckle up, because what we've got today is not just your regular playoff. This is about legacy, pressure, and the shot at doing something this franchise hasn't accomplished in over half a century. That's right. The Boston Celtics are back in the playoffs, and this time, they're not just chasing a championship. They're chasing back-to-back glory. It's been 10 long months since we last saw that historic banner 18 go up, and now, eyes are locked on banner 19. The question is, can they do it again? Let's set the stage. The Celtics will begin their first-round battle this Sunday, going up against either the Orlando Magic or the Atlanta Hawks, depending on the outcome of the play-in. But here's the twist. This isn't just another playoff run. This is a team built to dominate. This is a squad that's already made history and is hungry for more. And make no mistake, this fan base is dialed in. There's a real buzz in the air. We're talking about a team that's fresh off a 61-win season. 61. You don't just stumble into a record like that. You earn it. You fight for it. And now, it's about turning that regular season dominance into postseason fireworks. Now, let's talk about the engine behind this Celtics machine, the starting five. Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown. These guys haven't just played well. They've gelled. They've put in over 150 games together, and it shows. There's chemistry, rhythm, and a deep understanding of roles on the court. Brad Stevens deserves all the credit in the world for putting together a lineup that balances star power with two-way efficiency. But here's where it gets interesting. How long can they keep this core intact? You see, the business side of the NBA doesn't slow down for anybody. Tatum and Brown are both on massive contracts. Holiday, who turns 35 next year, is earning around $33 million a year. And although he signed a 4-year deal, nothing is guaranteed. If Boston doesn't get the job done, front office decisions are coming, and you better believe Jrue Holiday could be one of the first names on the table. Why? Not because he's bad, far from it, but because he might still hold enough value to make a significant trade before that value starts to drop. It's not emotional, it's just how this game works. Jrue Holiday is the name that keeps coming up as we inch closer to tip-off. Last season, he was instrumental in Boston's title run. We're talking about a guy who shot 50% from the field, 40% from three, and pulled off a game-sealing steal that ended Indiana's season in 4 games. That's the kind of impact that doesn't always show up on stat sheets. But this season, it's been different. Not bad, just not the same. The defensive presence is still there, but the offensive consistency has dipped. His three-point shooting, especially from the corner, where he led the league last season with over 65% efficiency, has dropped. Those clutch moments we came to rely on, they've been fewer and further between. And look, it's not just on Holiday. 82 games is a grind, and even the best stars have peaks and valleys during the regular season. But the truth is, for a team like Boston, a team above the second apron of the luxury tax for 2 years straight, the margin for error is razor thin. If the Celtics don't win it all, they can't afford to just run it back. Someone's going to have to go. And given the combination of age, salary, and trade value, Holiday might be the odd man out. Of course, there's still time to change that narrative. The playoffs are a different beast. This is where legacies are forged, where players redefine themselves. And for Jrue, this postseason might be his last chance to prove that he's still a difference maker on a championship contender. He doesn't have to put up 25 a night. He just has to be the version of himself we saw last year. The one who came up clutch. The one who led by example. The one who locked down opposing guards and made winning plays when it mattered most. What's fascinating about this squad is that even with all the speculation, they're locked in. There's a quiet confidence that radiates from this group. They've been here before. They've tasted success. And now they want more. But the road ahead is anything but easy. The Eastern Conference is no joke. Even a team like Orlando, young, energetic, with nothing to lose, can make life difficult in a 7-game series. And if it's Atlanta, don't let their struggles fool you. Trae Young can still catch fire, and their squad, when healthy, is no pushover. But let's be honest, Boston is the favorite for a reason. This isn't just about potential. This is about execution, about mindset, and about history. The last time Boston went back-to-back was in the late 60s, when Bill Russell was still roaming the paint. That's over 5 decades without consecutive titles. Think about that. The Celtics, one of the most storied franchises in sports, haven't repeated as champions since Lyndon B. Johnson was president. That's the kind of drought that turns this season into more than just another playoff run. It turns it into a mission. And when you look at what this team's accomplished already, you can feel that something special is brewing. The three-point records, the historic margins of victory, the individual milestones. And don't sleep on the mental edge this group has developed. From preseason games in Abu Dhabi to battling through injuries, this team has been through a gauntlet, and they're still standing. Kristaps Porzingis, for instance, barely played in the early playoff rounds last year and only managed 2 appearances in the finals. If he stays healthy this time, Boston's ceiling goes through the roof. His presence stretches defenses, protects the rim, and gives Boston another dynamic scorer that takes pressure off Tatum and Brown. Speaking of them, this is their moment. They've heard all the noise, all the doubters, the can't-close criticisms. But this year, they look more focused than ever. It's not just about highlights anymore. It's about results. And make no mistake, this isn't just a run-it-back season. It's bigger than that. Because if this team falls short, there will be changes. Cap implications, tax penalties, front office decisions. They've managed to keep this core together longer than most thought possible. But even magic runs out eventually. The league isn't waiting around. And with teams like Oklahoma City making waves in the West, Boston knows the window might not stay open forever. So here we are, on the brink of another postseason. With expectations sky high, history on the line, and a squad that knows exactly what's at stake. Banner 19 isn't just a dream. It's right there within reach. But it's going to take more than talent. It's going to take grit, leadership, health, and above all, belief. The kind of belief that, if there's one thing that separates championship teams from the rest, it's not just talent. It's not even coaching or matchups. It's timing, health, chemistry at the exact right moment. And right now, Boston's timing feels almost perfect. The roster is healthy, or at least trending that way. The rotations are set. The mentality is locked in. And more importantly, there's a sense of unfinished business floating in the air. Because while last year's banner was historic, it didn't feel like the peak. It felt like the start of something bigger. And that's where the pressure starts to build. See, when you've tasted success, expectations shift. Winning a championship isn't enough anymore. Sustaining that success becomes the new goal. That's what Golden State did during their dynasty run. That's what the Spurs mastered in the 2000s. And now Boston, with all their history and tradition, has a chance to write the next chapter. But standing in their way isn't just the rest of the league. It's the weight of expectation. The reality that anything short of a title this year will be considered a disappointment. That's why this postseason means everything. For Jason Tatum, it's about stepping into that full-blown superstar status, the kind that silences critics for good. For Jaylen Brown, it's about proving that the investment the franchise made in him was not just smart, it was essential. For Porzingis, it's a shot at redemption after years of injuries and inconsistency elsewhere. And for Drew Holiday, it's about legacy, about proving that he's still that guy, the one who changes games with effort, IQ, and clutch plays. Every player has something on the line. Every possession matters. And let's talk about the other X factor, the fans. The TD Garden faithful. If you've watched Boston basketball for more than 5 minutes, you know the crowd isn't just there for the show. They are part of the fight. That place becomes a fortress in the playoffs. Opponents feel it. Rookies crumble. Veterans get rattled. And when this Celtics team gets rolling, feeding off that energy, they're nearly impossible to beat at home. That home court advantage is no small thing. It's why locking in that top seed was crucial. And it's why, as long as Boston keeps taking care of business, every major moment will happen on their floor in front of their people. But no run to the finals is ever easy. Matchups will get tougher. Fatigue will creep in. And sooner or later, the Celtics will be pushed to the edge. That's when we find out who they really are. Will they stick together when the threes aren't falling? When they're down 10 in the fourth quarter? When the calls don't go their way? That's what separates champions from contenders. It's not about avoiding adversity. It's about embracing it and responding with fire. There's also the Western Conference problem. Teams like the Denver Nuggets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and even the Phoenix Suns, they're watching, waiting, building momentum. They're not just threats, they're legit title-caliber squads. And if Boston makes it to the finals, they'll need to be better than they were last year. Because those teams won't just hand over the trophy. They'll be fighting for every inch. And still, despite all that, there's something different about this Celtics team. Something unshakable. Maybe it's the maturity. Maybe it's the depth. Or maybe it's the fact that they've already done it once and know exactly what it takes. Whatever it is, it feels real. It feels powerful. And as a fan, you can't help but believe that this could truly be the year they go back-to-back. The only wild card? Injuries. That's the one thing that could derail everything. We've seen it too many times. A perfectly built team undone by a single misstep or a bad landing. That's why fans everywhere are holding their breath, hoping Porzingis stays upright, that Brown's hamstring doesn't flare up, that Tatum doesn't take another hard fall. Because if this team stays healthy, they're built to win it all. But if even one piece goes down, the whole puzzle gets harder to solve. So now, the countdown begins. The playoffs are here. The mission is clear. Win or face the consequences. There's no more next year. There's no more they're still young. The time is now. This team, this roster, this moment, it may never come again. And whether they make history or become another what-could-have-been story depends on what they do in the next few weeks. That's why the excitement is so real. Why the nerves are kicking in. Because this isn't just a playoff run. This is a shot at immortality. Banner 19 isn't just a number. It's a symbol. A message to the rest of the league that Boston isn't just back. They're here to stay. And when it's all said and done, the real question is simple. Will this be the team we talk about for the next 50 years? Or just another squad that couldn't finish the job? One thing's for sure. The journey starts now. And if you're a Celtics fan, you better believe it's going to be one wild ride. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In an unexpected twist that has sent shockwaves through the NBA and the betting community, Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics star forward, found himself at the center of a storm following a controversial statement aimed at sports bettors. During a private conversation with close associates, Brown allegedly called bettors a bunch of cowardly leeching scumbags, sparking a furious debate among fans, analysts, and the NBA's broader ecosystem. With his history as a three-time All-Star and Finals MVP, it's rare for Brown's name to be linked to anything other than his on-court prowess. But this remark has quickly gone viral, igniting conversations that blend sports with the ever-growing world of gambling. Brown's statement comes at a time when the NBA is navigating the complexities of sports betting's increasing role in the game. As one of the league's brightest stars, his words carry weight, especially given the surge of legal sportsbooks and their significant impact on both fans and players alike. The Celtics forward, known for his fiery competitive spirit, has often been vocal about the pressures athletes face from fans and the media. However, his choice of words regarding bettors has left many questioning his stance on gambling in sports and whether the athletes should even engage with this evolving industry. While some supporters of Brown have rallied behind him, calling his comments a candid reflection of his frustration with how bettors treat athletes as commodities, many in the gambling community have echoed. Despite the backlash, Brown has yet to address the controversy publicly, leaving fans and analysts speculating about the context of his comments. Could it be an emotional outburst fueled by the pressure of the ongoing NBA Finals, where his Celtics team is vying for another championship? Or is there a deeper, more personal message behind his words that speaks to the strain of living under the public microscope, constantly judged by fans, media, and even those placing bets on his performance? The debate over Brown's remarks has only intensified as the NBA Finals unfold. With the stakes higher than ever, the star forward's performance on the court continues to be scrutinized. But now, off the court, his controversial words add a new layer of complexity to his public image. As the Celtics push forward in their pursuit of another title, Jaylen Brown's fiery exchange with the betting world serves as a reminder of the often overlooked pressures that players face, not just from their opponents, but from a society that bets on their every move. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.